All right, today we got two phones.
I got two phones.
So recently you've seen me unbox this phone, the iPhone 12 mini, and I was gonna tell you basically what I thought of it. I'm gonna do a separate review later, but first I wanna do a review or comparison video with the 12 Pro Max. So I've been using this phone for 12 Pro Max for about a month, and I've been using the mini for just over a week. And I'm quite surprised, man, to be honest, because this phone, I thought I'm the big phone guy. You know, I got the hands for it. This is, it's normal for me. But I have to admit, the mini has surprised me. It really has. To be honest, it just feels the same. I don't feel like I've lost anything. Obviously, it's a lot smaller, like a lot smaller. But in terms of everyday use, it really hasn't like made me miss my 12 Pro Max. I literally haven't picked it up in a week. The great thing about this, people talk about it, is like the usability, and it's just true. Holding this phone is just so much easier. As it should be, and obviously it seems like an obvious thing, but this phone, not only is it heavier, but the weight distribution is a little bit top heavy. So it can be a little bit awkward to hold. But I have been really surprised. I thought I was gonna miss the size. The big question, and I won't waste too much time with this, the big question with the 12 mini is the battery life. And is it good enough, essentially, for a whole day's use? Now, here again, it surprised me because this is a monster. This 12 Pro Max is an absolute monster when it comes to battery life. Literally, I don't think I've even managed to get it below 10% in all the time I've using it. You know, that's like, I can just leave a YouTube video on, like a 3-hour-long podcast video on. Like, you can do basically anything. I mean, you're getting crazy amounts of screen on time with the 12 Pro Max. So when you come back down to this phone, the truth is you can't use this phone the way you use this phone. You just can't. This phone, like I said, you can't kill it. This phone you definitely can kill. You definitely can kill. And there was a day where I really pushed it, and I killed it. But I would say it's not as bad as you might think. For anyone who's used like the 11 Pro Max or the 12 Pro Max, I would say this battery life is probably about a third, or let's say it's about 40% worse than the 12 Pro Max or the 11 Pro Max. And those battery lives are just to the moon. They're just, crazy. But for this, I would say it's like a normal phone. It's probably the average phone you had maybe 4-5 years ago. The battery life is similar to that. It won't be anything terrible, but it certainly isn't gonna be something where you can not think about not charging. This phone, you could probably go a day, maybe 2 days without charging. Definitely a day, and then start the next day and you'll still have enough charge. You definitely can't do this with this phone. You have to charge it every night, which I think most people do anyway. If you're doing really heavy use, you might have to squeeze in a charge about halfway, not halfway through the day, but I would say like, around that 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Time. But to be honest, it is not that bad. It's not that bad. I can use it fine without charging it for the day as long as I use it sensibly. Yeah, I've been shocked by this phone. I think another reason, like I said in my other video, why I wanted to get the 12 mini is just to kind of pare down and use my phone less, actually. So for me, and with having an iPad, I thought, well, if I want to watch a video on a big screen, I just use the iPad, right? So in the end, really, I think I'm definitely gonna keep the 12 mini, despite, having a little bit of love for this. After using this for a week, there really hasn't been any difference for me. I'm not that big on cameras, and this has a good camera anyway, but this extra little bit of camera quality, I don't know. You can save about $400 price difference as well. So I mean, that's a big plus as well, right? Especially these days. Honestly, it surprised me. I never thought I'd be a small phone type of person. I don't even know who they're making this phone for. I know they've been like bad sales. Not too many people have actually bought this phone. And I can understand why, because in a way, I don't know why anybody would buy this phone. If you have a carrier plan or your contract and you're offered a phone, you'll be offered the regular iPhone 12. And I would actually still say most people should buy the regular iPhone 12 over this. But if you're kind of crazy like me, this might be able to work for you. Yeah, I don't know who it's for. I really don't know who the mini is for. I couldn't tell you. I do hope they make like another one. I know like the more tech nerds, which unfortunately I really love this phone, and maybe it's because they've actually tried the phone. You know, I think most people wouldn't even try this phone. I think they'll think it's like a toy phone. I've had a couple comments. So maybe that's the real issue. People are not getting in their hands. We can't go to Apple stores and, you know, feel the phone in our hand. And I think that's the thing with this phone. That's where the kind of magic lies, actually having it in your hands. And if you don't, you know, you might as well think, well, why not just get the 12? It's bigger. You just think bigger is better. But yeah, I think I will miss this phone a little bit, but nowhere near as much as I thought I would. It's really surprising, this 12 mini. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't even know if I'll necessarily recommend it, because the 12 is there and the 12 is really, really good. So yeah, I mean, comparison wise, I don't know, man. I didn't want to talk too much about specs. I just wanted to talk about how I felt about this, and I'm gonna keep the 12 mini and return the 12 Pro Max. Yeah, so 1,000 subscribers, I'm still on that journey. If you want to help me out, please subscribe to this video. If you found this helpful, give this a like. Takes a moment for you, but it means the world to me, and I'll catch you in the next one.